Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to introduce you to the upgrades for Smart Tank 3.0. Some service enhancements will catch your eye immediately, others may not take a few weeks or months. Behind everything, however, there is again a great deal of commitment and expertise for this version. We are pleased that we can present you a really good Smart Tank version 3.0. The newly implemented GeoZone tool will make it much easier for you to determine snow, wind and earthquake loads and is only available to customers with a maintenance contract. For currently 10 countries in Europe, the tool determines all geographic base and load data depending on a location defined by the user and converts them directly into the SIA 261 in accordance with the respective national appendices of the Eurocode or, as in the case of Switzerland. A steady expansion of further countries within the EU with their load-based data is planned for our future upgrades. The GeoZone Map button calls up the map part of the tool for the previously selected location. In the window that opens you will receive all the necessary information on geo and load data for the location. The map section shows you the location within the wind, snow and, if pending, earthquake map. A change of location is also possible at this point within the interface, as I am showing you here. To zoom into a map section, switch to the destination with the mouse and select the resolution by scrolling the mouse wheel. The map section can be moved by dragging it with the mouse while holding down the left mouse button. Please note, all data always relate to the respective center of the town. The GeoTool provides you with helpful additional information, especially for locations in the zone border area. Let me explain this with an example. The beautiful city of Trier has districts south and north of the Moselle. The center of the town is located south of the Moselle and is located in wind load zone 1. If your installation location is on the left bank of the Moselle, wind load zone 2 is pending. In such a special case, then write down the relevant data, do without transferring them and then enter their loads manually. The user interface also supports them in this. I will show you how easy it is by using the example of the city of Trier. I note to myself, Trier north of the Moselle, wind load zone 2, snow load zone 2, height over NN 135 meters, earthquake calculation not pending. I delete the data of the GeoZone tool, deactivate the earthquake load of the tank and switch to the specification of the loads. I select the appropriate menu and specify the appropriate loads. Done. It's only that easy with Smart Tank. How long did that take? Approximately 10 seconds. I will spare myself a comment on the shareware on the market for calculating thermoplastic tanks. If you have checked your location with the help of the maps, you can otherwise accept the data with a click of the mouse. Finally, add the installation height of the tank above the foundation and the terrain category. If you are not sure which terrain category to choose, click the Help button and find out about the definition of the selected standard or its national annex. These can differ from one another, as I have just briefly demonstrated. Otherwise, transfer all the data from the location directly to the stresses menu. As soon as you have selected the corresponding menu item under the respective load group, you will be shown all transfers again for checking. If necessary, add a few additional data such as the geometry of the extensions or the existing subsoil class and complete the load input effortlessly and at lightning speed. The advantages of the GeoZone tool are obvious. Convenient detection of all basic load data. Visual control of the input location. Automatic consideration of the respective national annex or standard. Lightning-fast specification of all snow, wind and possibly earthquake loads. Load determination has never been easier than with Smart Tank 3.0. We know from many support inquiries that many of our customers find it very difficult to determine the related design loads from snow, wind and earthquake loads in accordance with the standards, as this task requires knowledge of the relevant standards. If the respective basic data such as load zone, basic dynamic pressure or snow load base height can still be obtained relatively easily, their standard compliant implementation in design loads is a completely different matter. For this reason, in addition to the existing load determination according to Eurocode, we have added the Swiss standard SIA 261 and the US Code 1005 in Smart Tank. A manual specification of the design loads should therefore only be necessary in rare cases. I do not want to go into more detail at this point on manual input or according to DIN N or Eurocode. The entries required for this are known to you from the previous versions. The load input according to SIA 261 does not differ significantly from the input according to Eurocode. I will briefly explain the differences to you. When entering wind loads, the SIA 261 does not recognize any zones in the actual sense. Instead of a zone, a dynamic pressure dependent on the location must be entered and a terrain category selected whose definition differs slightly from that of the Eurocode. For the calculation of the snow loads, a reference height must be selected and the height above sea level specified. If you are used to entering snow load zones, the specification of a reference height is required in SIA 261, in particular a negative reference height, takes some getting used to. But don't worry, this basically corresponds to a zoning with which the Swiss standard tries to meet microzones within its national borders. We have stored the earthquake zones in Switzerland for you. Select the relevant subsoil class and the software will determine the base acceleration and subsoil parameters and calculate the relevant design acceleration. It goes without saying that all load specifications are shown within the statistics and processed so that they can be checked. The definition of the design loads according to ASCE 1005 differs considerably from that of the European standards. Our software asks for all necessary input data. We know from experience within our international engineering office that, as a rule, all of the input data required to determine the load is defined within the tender. If not, you should ask your client about this. Enter the basic data, lean back and let Smart Tank determine the standard compliant design loads. In this case too, the loads are documented in a verifiable manner, as the following excerpts show. The expansion control within the interactive dimensioning is new in Smart Tank 3.0. Tanks made from panels are limited in size due to the expansion limit. See DVS 22052 Table 3, when the panels are cold bent. Smart Tank shows you the existing and permissible expansions of the cylinder shell regardless of the type of tank. Decide for yourself whether this is to be implemented in your production or whether you want to make the cylinder as a winding cylinder. Influences from possibly existing nozzles in the lower area of the shell are not taken into account. Why? More on that in a moment. Flat bottom tanks outside a collecting tray can be calculated in accordance with DVS 22052 in a shell construction. If, on the other hand, the lower shot is made from two shells, larger tanks can be made. The supporting effect of the reinforcement shell shrunk on from the outside is fully effective in verifying the strength of the stresses in the circumferential direction, meaning both wall thicknesses can be added to determine an equivalent wall thickness. The reinforcement shell only partially contributes to the strength verification in the axial direction. Electronic calculations have shown that the sum of the wall thickness of the inner shell and half the reinforcement wall thickness can be used as an equivalent wall thickness for determining the stress in the axial direction. All stability considerations are based only on the inner shell thickness. Please note that a number of restrictions must be observed for this type of construction. Here are the most important ones. The bottom thickness is identical to the thickness of the bottom shot without the reinforcement shell. The thickness of the reinforcement shell is at least half as thick, but not thicker than the thickness of the inner shell. There must be no openings in the reinforced area. If you have decided on a version in shell construction, Smart Tank shows the minimum required wall thicknesses, the associated expansion, and gives you the option of adapting the wall thicknesses and the height of the stiffening shell. In addition, the expansions for the wall thicknesses selected by you are output and the double shell checkbox is activated in the setup menu. Little hint: do not change this setting. Smart Tank does this for you automatically. If, for example, a version of the tank with a shell construction is activated and a version with a double shell construction is no longer required due to changes made, Smart Tank corrects automatically. Please note, this type of construction does not allow nozzles within the reinforcement height and requires the first shot to be at least 100 mm above the upper end of the reinforcement. Let me briefly demonstrate this for your better understanding. The starting point of our example is a flat bottom tank with the weft division shown here. The density of the medium is 10.0 kN per cubic meter. The tank has a DN50 nozzle, 600 mm above the lower edge of the shell. I increase the media density to 15.00 kN per cubic meter. This means that the lower cylinder section exceeds the permissible limit elongation and I decide to design the tank in a shell construction. Smart Tank then adjusts the height of the lower shell and removes the existing nozzle to meet the requirements of the supplementary sheet. Proof of buoyancy safety of a tank in a tray collectors must be provided in accordance with DVS 2205-2. There are two ways of doing this. 1. Evidence is provided by means of a suitable support structure. 2. Evidence is provided by enlarging the inside diameter of the tray collector. Smart Tank supports you in both approaches. You can specify the type of verification you require under Settings, Minimum Values. If you activate the checkbox, only the lift forces are calculated and documented in the statistics. You will then have to provide appropriate evidence separately. This setting is retained for all further calculations in Smart Tank until you deactivate them. If the control is not activated, Smart Tank increases the inner diameter of the tub if there is insufficient buoyancy security. The present tank is filled with a medium with a density of 10.0 kN per cubic meter and the tub has the smallest possible diameter. Under these conditions, the tank is sufficiently secure against buoyancy. I increase the media density and the buoyancy safety of the tank within the tub is no longer given. Smart Tank then adjusts the diameter, issues a corresponding message and integrates the evidence into the documentation. The newly introduced material polyethylene within DVS 22051 has also been integrated into Smart Tank version 3.0 and can be called up in the Material and Temperatures menu. In the usual way, you receive a representation of the creep curve and Smart Tank determines and takes into account all related material characteristics of the material polyethylene. I have come to the end of my presentation and thank you for your attention. LU Software Engineering GmbH wishes you lots of fun and success using Smart Tank 3.0.